Welcome back to Pages with Sidra. Today, we're diving into Chapter 209 of The Greatest Estate Developer. If you're new here or missed any earlier parts, don't worry. I've got a full playlist on my channel where you can catch up on everything at your own pace. Now, let's get started. As Chapter 209 begins, we return to the Frontera territory. The once destroyed buildings have now been fully rebuilt, standing tall and lively once again. At the center of the plaza, a grand statue catches everyone's eyes, a massive shovel. It's the very tool Lloyd always used, now turned into his memento. Fresh flowers are tied around it like garlands, showing how dearly the people remember him. The scene shifts to Arco's Frontera, who stands before the gathered crowd to open the festival. With a solemn voice, he announces, "Today marks the 5th year of this festival, the day everything in our Frontera collapsed. The day he left us. But still, it is also the day we keep our faith alive, believing that one day he will return." Lifting a glass high, Arcos calls for a toast, and the people cheer loudly in unison. Amid the celebrations, even Bibiong, the great beast, is seen joining in. He joyfully tosses flowers into the air, making them fall like gentle rain. Perched on his head are 3 familiar demons, enjoying the moment together. Among them is the little girl Lila, who shouts in delight, "So pretty." Beside her sits Artanis, smiling warmly at Bibiong. She says, "It's great to see you looking so much brighter, Lady Bibiong. At first, you seemed so gloomy that we were really worried." Bibiong replies in his usual voice, "Bibiong, parting with creatures I like is so sad. I even thought of leaving forever, never meeting anyone again." A memory flashes, Bibiong once sitting alone in the forest, until Artanis approached and reached out to him. Back in the present, he continues, "But I was so happy when you demons treated me kindly." Artanis gently responds, "Thank you for saying that. Today, you should enjoy yourself too, Lady Bibiong. After all, when he returns, you'll want to greet him with a cheerful face." Meanwhile, the festival carries on with joy. Byron, Diego, and Greg are seen enjoying the feast together. Greg playfully raises his glass toward Diego, teasing, "Towards. Congrats on the promotion. Saved up a lot of money." Diego sighs and admits, "Oh no. All my wages went into paying off debt." Greg bursts into laughter and replies, "Wah, that's karma, so take it like a champ." Ha ha ha. The festival continues with joy and music. In another part of the plaza, goblins and elves come together to perform, beating drums, strumming instruments, and playing cheerful tunes like a full festival band. The lively rhythm fills the air, and the audience dances along, celebrating the moment. Among the crowd, we spot Emily, a human, and Kuga, the orc she married. They now have a baby in their arms, a child with orc-like features. The little family smiles warmly, enjoying the beauty of the festival together. Nearby, the dwarf Cogitus suddenly grabs Solidus by the ear, dragging him away. "You punk, is this the time to enjoy a festival? Let's go to class," he scolds. "Owa." Solidus yelps in pain, clearly not ready to let the fun go. Meanwhile, the festival also hosts a unique competition in Lloyd's honor, a contest to recreate his face in the most impressive way. One group proudly unveils their statue and shouts, "How's this? This is this year's entry, Lord Lloyd's Japchi." Another group quickly counters with laughter, "Ha, I don't think you captured Teacher Lloyd's personality very well." The first group fires back smugly, "Humph. Our piece expresses his ugliness way better." But the second group retorts, "Fair enough. But if you don't capture his viciousness, then it's not truly Teacher Lloyd." As the two sides bicker, tension breaks when Lloyd's parents suddenly arrive. Seeing them, both groups panic slightly. Then Marbella, Lloyd's mother, calmly steps forward and presents her own portrait of Lloyd, one so much more accurate and heartfelt than any of the entries. Both group leaders immediately drop to their knees and admit in unison, "We concede." Outside the Frontera territory, the atmosphere is quieter. Lloyd's younger brother, Julian, sits alone, waiting silently as if expecting someone. Soon, Sarazad, his wife, approaches and softly calls out, "Lord Julian, so this is where you were." Julian greets her politely, "Lady Sarazad." She looks at him with concern. "Why are you sitting in a place like this?" Julian turns his gaze aside and admits, "Ah well, I was wondering if His Majesty the King might come this year." Sarazad shakes her head gently. I've heard she's been very busy with state affairs lately, and the fact that His Majesty insists on holding that event every year. I'm sure the ministers strongly oppose it. Julian looks down with uncertainty. Yeah, I suppose you're right. But then Sarazad notices something in the distance. Turning her eyes toward the road, she speaks with quiet certainty. I guess I underestimated His Majesty's resolve a bit too much. Julian follows her gaze, and his expression shifts. Someone is indeed approaching. And soon, from the royal kingdom itself, Queen Charitos is seen making her way toward the Frontera territory. The scene cuts back to the modern world, Seoul, where the familiar skyline meets a quiet, charged moment at the tower. Javier stands on the viewing platform, a small, steady smile on his face as he looks directly at Kim Suho. Suho sees him too, stunned into silence for a beat. Then, slowly, Javier steps forward. When he reaches Suho, Javier stops and, in a gesture both formal and heartfelt, drops to one knee. The plaza falls hush. He speaks clearly, respectfully. I've come to escort you, young master. Go Jiang, Suho's best friend, watches the scene with wide eyes. He can't help the thought that flashes through his mind. Javier looks exactly like the illustrations from the novel. Did he really cross dimensions to find Suho? Javier remains kneeling, calm and sincere. Around them, passers-by and festival-goers glance over, surprised by the quiet gravity of the moment. After a short silence, Suho speaks, a question that carries everything he's felt since waking up in this world. Going back, is it really the right thing to do? Javier looks up and listens. Suho's voice trembles with the memory of another life, the one he lived in the other world. He explains how, there, he had strength, an almost cheat-like power that marked him as different. Here, in this world, he feels powerless. Going back might mean reclaiming that strength, but it also feels like running away. He admits, quietly and painfully, that he fled before because he couldn't bear this life. Javier responds with a gentle firmness. Suho is mistaken if he thinks the people of Frontera want his power above all else. They want him, the person. They want the man they know, not a show of strength. Suho listens, conflicted. He's silent for a long moment, the weight of Javier's words sinking in. Then, more to himself than anyone else, he speaks again about the other world, how he once overflowed with strength, how it felt completely different, and how the idea of going back raises doubts about courage and responsibility. As Suho wrestles with his doubts, his best friend Go Jiang suddenly smacks him on the back, breaking his heavy train of thought. Javier immediately stands, anger flashing across his face as if ready to punish Jiang. But Suho quickly steps in, stopping him. No, Javier. Stay still. He's my friend. My friend. The tension eases. Javier goes quiet, holding back. And then, Go Jiang speaks, his voice steady, yet filled with emotion. He admits he once wanted to be like Suho, smart, successful, someone who stood out. But when he failed, he felt useless, trash, even. He thought of giving up on everything. Yet through living in his own way, he realized something. Maybe it wasn't just running away. Maybe he was searching for a world that fit him, a place where his strengths meant something. With a gentle smile, Jiang turns to Suho. Let's go, Gainma. To the world where you're the legendary estate architect. Suho freezes, moved by his friend's words. Slowly, he looks toward Javier, who is still standing, waiting. Javier smiles, raising his hand. Suho's expression softens. Sadness gives way to determination. He reaches out too, and their hands clasp firmly together. Onlookers stare in confusion, unsure of what this gesture means. Then Javier pulls out the switch given to him by the Dragon King Verkis, the device that can open the path back. He presses it, and a brilliant light engulfs the plaza. In that final moment before leaving, Suho looks back at Go Jiang. He smiles warmly, while Jiang grins and lifts a thumbs up in return. The light surges, carrying Suho and Javier upward, into the sky like a beam piercing through the night. The people below watch in awe as the light shoots out of Earth, streaking into the stars before vanishing into the cosmos. Jiang keeps his eyes on the fading trail, whispering with a grin. Dayback, awesome, but the journey isn't over. The radiant beam continues across distant lands, soaring past mountains, then across the ocean, where mermaids gaze in awe at the glowing light. It streaks over vast savanna fields, where centaurs pause in wonder, their eyes fixed on the sky. Finally, it crosses open grasslands, where even the Dragon King Verkis looks up from his quiet picnic with his family. A gentle smile spreads across his face, as he knows they are returning. Inside the beam of light, Suho and Javier travel together through the void. Suho begins to recognize the world below, the familiar night lights of Frontera. His heart swells. Those lights. I'm glad. Everyone's been doing okay after all. And with that, the light streaks down, bringing him back to the world he once left behind. And that wraps up today's recap of the greatest estate developer. We all know this story is slowly heading towards its conclusion, and honestly, it's bittersweet. It's been such a special ride sharing every chapter with you. I'm truly grateful to be part of this adventure together with all of you. A huge thank you to all of you watching, and an even bigger thank you to the channel members for always supporting me. Your love really keeps this journey going. Don't forget, if you want to catch every single episode, the full playlist is always there on my channel. Until next time, take care, and let's enjoy these final chapters together.